right. One, when I told you that we need to relax, I meant it. I listened to it on the way here. I was right. It is the Democrat Gazette phone calls. Remember, we all talked to Lorinda Jinks. We talked to her 4 to 5 times. Within the second time you talked to her, you said you wanted to talk to her supervisor, Lisa, somebody like that. I think so. I'm pretty sure. This is a phone call I wasn't here for. So first off, let me tell you, you were solid, man. You were as transparent as possible, and you were just you kept saying, "Let me make this clear." Like, is this really happening? Are you really going to breaking news this? Mm-hmm. Anyway, let's just listen to it, because what's going to happen is, if there's as many of them out there as I think there is, and they doctored all those photos, they're going to be doctoring this tape, and they're going to use words like, "You pled guilty," and that without hearing your response, or "You were charged with these restraining orders." Well, here you do the difference between a restraining order and a protection order. Well, they spent $13,000 on these mass mailers. There's no telling what they'll do with this. So right here, October 30th, is it? Tomorrow's Halloween. God, I gotta be a better dad. Tomorrow's Halloween, October 30th, 6, 7 o'clock. We're gonna get it on the YouTube just to have the legit stuff, because they're gonna put something fake out there. Okay. Let's listen.
Well, I mean, honestly, I have nothing to hide. I was honest and transparent. I thought that's the best way to be with anything like that. Yeah. I just wasn't for sure what was going on. It just seemed fishy. So.
You do say a bad word in it, but I don't blame you. I don't know how you kept your cool. I would have lost my cool way beyond that. It's a good 15 minutes or something. Let's press play, and then if it's not right, we won't release it. But I think you'll be fine with it.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting to your comments here.
Take your time.
He and the baby's mother. Well, that was cool. Van Voast said Wednesday he and the baby's mother were in a custody dispute. We were young, we were stupid, but we've moved past that now.
That was not the statement I sent.
You remember?
Okay. Did you send her a statement in writing?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you send that to me?
To the email. I mean, I guess, Mr. I want to make sure that we're clear on this. Is that I think the first thing I'm questioning is the whole process of how the kind of debate questions that were asked from the very beginning, before all this, that my responses weren't even put in, and she said she didn't receive them, so we resent them. Then she said they were too long, and then we sent them again, and then she questioned if I even wrote them, which that's odd. I mean, I have, okay. And then
I don't mind discussing the Q&A, but can we finish with this story first?
Okay, sure. Yes, I emailed her.
Yeah, okay.
I emailed her.
If you would send me what you sent her, I'll make sure that it's well represented.
She pops in that other question on you in a minute.
And this is
and just so I'm clear on this, you guys have never did this for any other candidate ever, correct?
I've been doing this for 37 years, and I've done this almost every election that I can think of for at least one candidate. Generally speaking, we do not publicize misdemeanor convictions.
I think
because they're misdemeanors. People get a chance to screw up and turn their lives around, and Lord knows if you live long enough, everybody screws up.
So I guess a felon can do that.
But when you put yourself up for public office, you make yourself a public figure.
Yes, ma'am.
Then that level of scrutiny goes away, or that level of protection.
Sure.
So we write about candidates who get convicted of misdemeanors, yes.
All right. Who are they? Do you know?
We have a candidate who's a mayoral candidate in Fayetteville who is a convicted arsonist.
That's the one.
That.
Okay. But not a misdemeanor, correct?
Yes, we've written about misdemeanors in the past.
Right. Yeah, and I'm not questioning that, ma'am. I'm just saying that. Was there a reason why I was the lucky one picked this time? I mean, to get a background check done.
Well, if I know somebody else's, if I find out about somebody else's, I will write it as well. Certainly somebody made us aware of this. Although I understand the other media outlets have been over it as well.
Right, but no one's doing an article. I'm still trying to get this email I sent to her. I was forward to you.
No one's doing an article on it
Good
though.
luck finding email in your trash.
In the trash.
I just figured you had it in your trash.
Why would you say that?
Because after I send emails, I trash them. Just to keep my email clear.
I appreciate that, but I don't, this is an important email to me.
Okay.
I'm just going to forward it to you while I got you on the phone.
It was
Oh,
your
okay.
response.
You need my email address?
Yes, ma'am. Hold on 1 second. And so she gave me a series of 5 questions, I think, to answer it. And I'm just going to answer it with this one. So what's your email address?
L. Thompson, THOMPSON, at NWADG.com.
It's gonna hit the news.
It sounds like she got a little attitude.
Are you sending me your statement on the story?
Yeah.
Or sending me your answers to the Q&A?
No, we've already, I guess the questions to Q&A has already went through your,
Yeah, I think they're ready to be posted online if they haven't yet.
yeah, if we can go ahead and get that, that'd be nice.
It's
Now,
2
the
weeks
photo you
later.
sent isn't usable because I can only see one side of your face.
Oh,
Mine-
so you need a new photo?
You're bending down talking to a child. But if I try to get a head, if I try to crop a head and shoulders out of that, I'm going to get a head and half a face.
Sure, so you need a new photo?
Yeah, a nice head and shoulder shot would be good to put up on the NWA Vote website. It's a
Okay,
sweet kid you were talking to.
he's a pretty good kid. Yeah.
Trying to change it.
So let me see. Is there a reason why Lorenda's not responding?
Well, she said you wanted me to call.
That-
Usually when somebody wants to talk to your supervisor, you're done talking to them, but
Oh,
I can
okay,
have her call you back as well.
that's all right.
I got your email documents for newspaper.
All right, so give me a second. I'll send you that picture. But what I've got you on is so what you're saying is, and just make sure I understand because I mean, forgive me for being ignorant. I'm not familiar with the news. If someone just calls in and gives you a story, and you run it. I mean, because I think what people are talking to me about today, and everybody's calling me, is that this is breaking news on a 13-year-old misdemeanor accusation, and so
Well, you pled guilty.
no, ma'am, I did not.
You're down as having been pled guilty to the 3rd-degree assault and paid a fine of $110.
No, ma'am. The end of that, if you read the end of that, it says the judge told me and her to not go around each other for 30 days. If we go around each other for 30 days, there'll be a guilty plea, and I'll have a court cost of $100, and I could see a year in jail. If we don't violate that in 30 days, and I don't have any issues with then her and I both, then there was nothing there. And at the end of that, I think it makes it very clear. Not only that, with that, I want to make sure, double check that you guys have sent my record, my criminal background check we sent with the FBI and the state. Make sure that's printed as well, because she said she would do that with it.
I don't have your criminal background check.
Are you kidding me?
Yourself?
Are you kidding me? You're gonna. I'm just asking this question. I just want to make sure I got this right. You're gonna try to assassinate my character off a background check you found, and you didn't even do a background check. And when I sent you the one, and she promised me she was gonna send it with it. You're gonna say that you didn't even get it, and you were gonna write the story without it, or without my response.
Is your background check part of your response?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Okay.
No, and I already sent that to her.
Then I'll have Miranda forward it to me.
Well, who is sending? Is it you or Lorinda who's sending this?
I'm looking at the court documents. Springdale District Court.
She doesn't want to know the truth.
Look at the very end.
See, the fine is 110.
Don't seem like she has
Matter of
any
fact,
interest
this is
in
the
it.
cell phone you're calling me,
That's
right?
all here.
This is the cell phone you're calling me on, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I just when I get a hang up, I'll just send it to you on your cell phone so you have it and you can share it with everybody. See, I've worked with almost 14 organizations that do background checks since then, and they do it monthly. Any accusations of any type of violence on anybody, it don't come off your record, all right? And they would not let me work with them. And the fact that you guys are running this is shocking to me, but do what you need to do. It's only going to help me.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Springdale District Court docket.
Mm-hmm.
Domestic third degree.
Do you know what the definition of domestic third degree is? I'm not questioning. I really don't know.
Yeah.
You did know, didn't you?
That's non-violent. That's nobody was touched. Nobody. You know that, right?
Yelling at each other? Yeah.
Okay.
And I think her question she asked me was these violent. She said violent charges, and that's what she's going to pose. But a third degree is nobody was touched.
I know she has it in her story. I'd have to read it.
With all due respect, Ms. Thompson, it sounds like the right hand don't know what the left hand is doing in your office, and I don't mean any disrespect,
Exactly.
but I've sent her several things.
But
I
I
sent-
supervise a number of reporters. I don't know everything they say, every document they receive, and
Right,
everything they do in each
Right,
story.
right, ma'am.
So that-
Right, I understand that, but you do send off on it, correct? You're the one who signs off on
I
it. Correct?
do.
Okay.
I do.
Well, let me tell you, I don't know how it works there, and I'm sure it's different from everywhere else. But as a coach of a football program, it doesn't matter what the excuse is. I'm responsible, right? And I know it's the same for you guys. I mean, I would assume that I sent all this stuff, right? And I would highly recommend you talk to her and her be honest about what happened yesterday. But if you don't want to, that's fine too, because I can promise you, we're prepared. We're prepared like none other. So I'm not threatening you. I'm just saying, feel free. But if I would highly recommend, and this is just a professional to a professional, that before you run this, you check all your facts and you check her, right? And make sure, because what you were about to do is run something and not put my response in. You still haven't responded to my thing 3 weeks ago. And you didn't run my criminal record, which she promised me she would, right beside it. My background check.
I doubt she could promise that because she knows she wouldn't do that. In
You
Arkansas, in answer to your earlier question, the charge.
No, man, hold on. Yeah, I want you to answer. I understand. Hold on. Before you go there, I'm sorry to cut you off. But are you telling me she didn't say that?
I'm saying if she did, she completely misspoke because she knows that we wouldn't.
Yeah, well, you need to talk to her about that.
I intend to.
Okay. Yeah.
Apparently, there are a number of things I need to talk to her about.
Yes, ma'am. So go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
You had asked me if I knew what the charge involved.
Yes, ma'am.
It's levied if a person purposely frightens another with threats of imminent physical injury.
Yeah. So if they threaten them.
Yeah, it's verbal. Your point being that it's verbal. It's
Right.
not physical.
Right. And I think what the answers I was asked to is my physical assault on women, my violent attacks on women, which again, there's a reason why I was thrown out of court because no one yelled at anybody. I mean, we were heated, but we both got that. But just make sure.
I've noticed that in 07, you both had protection orders against one another.
Yes, that
So
whole.
clearly it was, you were young, and it appears to be from the court record, kind of acrimonious relationship at the end, at least.
Right, we're fighting for custody of our kids, yes, and I'm ashamed. I mean, we're grown now, but no one was physically harmed at all. Period. That's never been a case. No one has ever in the history. I've never physically harmed anybody as an adult male. I mean, I fought teenagers when I was in school, but never. I've coached over 2,000 kids in Northwest Arkansas, and you're not going to find one person to come clean and say I've ever harmed or threatened anybody.
Gotcha.
You're going to do research on me. If you do, I just ask you to do all the research. You look that I've been feeding and volunteering in Northwest Arkansas and giving out beds for the homeless and things for over a decade. All facts. You're going to see I worked for several schools and volunteered tons of time. Facts. But all you're going to post, all you were about to post is accusations made toward me during a custody dispute. And
there's also the restraining order from earlier this year.
Oh, yeah. And that in itself is a great question. So feel free to run that one too. Because if you notice that we don't know why or where that came from, right? But what was the final outcome of that, if you don't mind me asking?
A few weeks later, actually 3 weeks later, she asked that it be dropped.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you, I don't even know where the hell that came from. But I will tell you this. I didn't know why she would do that. But she was obviously approached by somebody, all right? So now, if you look at the very first page, since you're researching it, when it asks who is the restraining order against, it just asked for my name. Under my name, they were nice enough to put city council candidate.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, isn't that kind of odd that it was, it started up, and then there was a restraining order, city council candidate, and then when it comes time to go to court, I had no idea. But again, it's not a restraining order. It's important you read that right. You see, it's an order of protection.
It's a temporary order of protection.
Yes, which is completely different from a restraining order. I can get a protection order on you right now, but a restraining order needs some kind of proof of violence. So make sure, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not being disrespectful to you. I'm not in your business. But I'm telling you the wording and the way you're doing things is backward. And honestly, ma'am, it makes it look comical that the breaking news in your paper that people are saying already don't get many views. You're going to bring up a 13-year-old third-degree misdemeanor. That's what your breaking news is.
That's not breaking news.
Well, why are we even talking about it? Did you talk about I fed 2,000 kids in the last 2 weeks? Have you? What did you bring up? I fed 2,000 kids in the last 2 weeks. I mean, you did an investigation. I mean, you had to see that. Did you bring up the fact that? Did you guys investigate the fact when I've been called a nigger and my life's been threatened? And the stuff smart, she knew about all that. Did you investigate that? That wasn't newsworthy. It wasn't newsworthy that my house has been doxxed and my kids are in danger because you got these idiot rednecks that are believing everything they hear. And when you run something have
you made a police report on any of this harassment?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Springdale Police.
Yes, ma'am, I have.
Okay.
And I'll send all that to you if you need to.
Oh, I can get that.
No, well, and to me that's crazy how you got something from that many years ago, but you didn't get that from a few weeks ago.
Did you want to send anything as far as the statement for the story about the restraining order earlier this summer?
Oh.
You said some things to me, but there's nothing in your statement that you sent me.
I think I made my statement very clear. The statement you just got, right?
I have your email.
And could you read that to me real quick?
I have never been convicted of a crime in my life. The story is false, and the paperwork provided to the Democratic Gazette provides the information that the charges of the misdemeanor were dismissed. Instead of publishing my vision for Springdale, I find it troubling that this newspaper would choose to report fake news to destroy me. The list of convictions of those currently on the CC are long, and the newspaper or myself chooses to not be talking about that. I'm not sure what the CC is.
It's City Council.
I will not be bullied, and I will continue to fight for Springdale. There's a lot of work to do besides wasting time defending more false allegations.
But you finish it, please.
Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So that'll be my answer to your question. And you feel free to post any fake news you want to. If you have a problem with the judge or the convictions that I was supposed to get, or what you're trying to picture, you're trying to paint, I would highly recommend you speak out to the judge or the system. But I will tell you, it sure feels like a man of color. You're trying to make me out to be a criminal. And I have not done anything to warrant that.
When you paid a court fine and you were listed as having pled guilty,
I did not pay a court fine. I did not pay a court fine, and I have not pled guilty. Would you please read the final end of that? You see, that's why I'm concerned. You're going to post something you have nothing about. I never pled guilty to anything. We were both guilty of the same thing, and we're to stay away from each other for 30 days. Right? My mother was supposed to take our kid between us. If we did that, it was both thrown out of court. If either one of us violated that, order of protection, not restraining order, then we'd have both went to jail and had court costs and fines and found guilty. Yes. But since 30 days went by, there was nothing of it, we were found not guilty.
I'm sorry.
I'm just asking that you post the right thing. If you're going to post false stuff, please get it right. That's all I'm saying. Because what you're going to do is you're going to send something that's going to look very nasty, and I'm going to have angry rednecks coming to my house doing more hateful stuff, and I've got to protect my kids. But you got to make your $12, whatever you're going to make on this ad, you please do it.
All right.
But I'm asking you right now that you post my comment with this, and then you post my background check right beside it. I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
All right? So you're going to promise me you're going to do that?
No, sir. I'm not going to promise you anything. I'll be glad to take a look at it.
So you refuse to you refuse. Let me make sure I got this right. You refuse to state facts, but you're 100% sure you're going to put allegations.
Those are your words, not mine.
No, ma'am. That's the court. That is the background check. You see, what you're doing is, in this country, the reason why people kneel, you know, those black people, those Black Lives Matter people, the reason why they kneel is because the end of our national anthem is, everything is liberty and justice for all. All right. As a man of color, I got justice in the courtroom. What you're doing right now is saying, hell with that. We're going to be the judge and jury. And no, you're not innocent of these things. You're going to have to answer to them again. I didn't have to answer to a judge or a jury, but I'm going to have to answer to a shitty newspaper? Excuse my language. No disrespect.
No,
Think about that for a
Pretty
minute.
disrespectful, but okay.
Well, I mean, it is what it is, right? You're following shows.
All right. Are we done?
No, ma'am. I'm asking you. So if I send you my background check, and I'm telling you, I do not approve of you sending this without my background check or my statement, but you feel free to do what you want. Are you telling me if I send you my background check, you're not going to take it?
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
It sounds good. Then you answer my question. One more question, if you don't mind me asking before we hang up. Ms. Thompson,
Yes.
how do you feel about Black Lives Matter?
I don't have any feelings one way or the other. I'm a journalist. If I have opinions, I keep them to myself. I don't sign petitions. I don't have yard signs. I don't join.
Ma'am, I'm asking human to human. How do you feel about Black Lives Matter?
I have no opinions that I express publicly. Haven't since 1983.
Well, yes, ma'am. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, and I'm going to send you this.
You have my number?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I'm going to send it to you right now.
All right.
Thank you very much. You have a blessed day.
You too, sir. Bye.
Trash. Oh,
I mean, of course, we don't want to put out there you say it's shitty. We don't want your newspaper sucks and everything. There's parts of that they could splice up.
yeah, I know. I was wrong for that. And I accept full responsibility for that. I got frustrated at the end. I felt like they were trying to take a direction, but I was wrong for that. I need to apologize to her for what I
You
said.
said, though, was so right on. You're going to be judge, jury, and prosecution. You're going to take my justice away. That's exactly what they were doing. They had documents in front of them.
It is shitty of them to do that. So,
Right.
you know.
They had
son,
documents
like
in front of them.
Right, I understand that, but that's still, I mean, I'm responsible for my reaction. Her action is bad. I'm responsible for my reaction, so I accept full responsibility. I shouldn't have said that.
That's okay.
And I believe that the common man would not hold that against you.
Well,
You know.
that's fine.
Let's
but,
put it out there for your protection. Let's
Fine. I don't
end the video.
I don't care.
I'm ending
I
it.
have nothing to hide.
Signing
So,
out.
So,
Vote Van Voast.